Hi, my name is Bonnie. I'm presenting a presentation on my research paper from my Composition 2 class, and my topic is on alcohol prohibition. I decided to write my topic on prohibiting alcohol not only because my religious views do not support it, but because of the harm and damage that comes to your body because of alcohol abuse. There are many problems in the world occurring due to alcohol, such as physical injuries, mental dysfunctions, and destruction of family and friend relationships. As you know, the title of my paper is Alcohol Should Be Prohibited because of its abuse and damage to our body. My thesis statement for my paper is alcohol should be prohibited because it is both damaging to you and your peers, and it causes health problems physically and mentally, and destroys relationships. The target audience of this paper is most likely to be friends and parents of alcohol abusers. I feel they would pay close attention as to what may happen to their loved ones if they continue to overconsume this poison. I believe this is an important audience because out of all people, those who drink heavily and misuse alcohol are more likely to listen to a family member or a close friend about quitting drinking rather than listen to a radio ad or TV commercial. Some responses I would like to receive from my target audience are a deeper knowledge of the dangers of alcohol and that no good comes from it. I would love for my readers to learn and remember the value of the valuable information shared, and for them to pass along with their family and friends. I would also love to see the rates of car crashes and deaths involving alcohol decrease, and if people of the world would stand up for what's right and stand firm in what they believe in, I feel our world would become a safer, healthier environment. I've listed 5 sources below I'm going to share with you to help kind of support my thesis, and it goes along with it. My first source is by Gene Carper, titled Alcohol Can Harm the Brain. Not only does alcohol impair your brain short-term when you drink, but it becomes long-term the heavier you drink. A study was done on 25 pairs of identical twins on alcohol. Out of both twins, one was a heavier drinker. Of all the participants, they were tested on subjects such as vocabulary, math, memories, and spatial ability. The twins who consumed the heavier amounts of alcohol did more poorly, and the heavier the drinker, the worse their test scores were. My second source is by a Columbia Examiner, titled Teens' Relationships with Parents Can Prevent Teen Drug and Alcohol Problems. Studies have found that teens with a strong relationship with their parents have less risk of developing drinking problems. A lot of research has shown the age at which children begin drinking alcohol is a factor in whether or not they eventually develop alcohol abuse disorders and related problems such as antisocial behaviors and school or work problems. In Columbia, South Carolina, research shows that teenagers with close relationship with their parents have a much lower risk of having problems with alcohol or drug use than those with bad family relations. The younger the children start these bad habits, the worse it will escalate as they get older. My third source is by Kate Kelland, titled Alcohol Related is Worse Than Crack or Heroin. The World Health Organization estimates that risks linked to alcohol cause 2.5 million deaths a year from heart and liver disease, road accidents, suicides, and cancer, accounting for 3.8% of all deaths. It is a third leading risk factor for premature death and disabilities worldwide. Research has been found that alcohol has been called the #1 most dangerous drug, even when compared to heroin or crack cocaine, which are known as the second and third most harmful drug. Alcohol is known to be involved in many deaths involving health problems, car accidents, and suicides. Harms to the user include things such as drug-specific or drug-related death, damage to health, drug dependence, and loss of relationships, while harms to others included crime, environmental damage, family conflict, international damage, economic cost, and damage to community cohesion. My fourth source is by the Associated Press, titled Study Links Brain Damage to Fetal Alcohol Syndrome. Fetal alcohol syndrome is a terrible disease for your child to have. When excessively drinking while pregnant, you put your fetus at risk for FAS. Although we do not know exactly how much is consumed to create this defect, it is much safer to be abstinent. Studies also show that babies born with fetal alcohol syndrome stays with you throughout your whole life, even if physical distortions fade. My fifth source is by Carolyn Sussman, titled Excessive Alcohol Can Cause Damage, or Excessive Alcohol Use Can Damage Pancreas. Heavy consumption of alcohol is very dangerous to the body. It can cause many problems to the organs, tissue damage, and even death. The pancreas is a vital organ, and alcohol is one of the first things that starts breaking down. Without your pancreas, your blood sugar level would be very unstable, causing many health problems. And these sources correlate with my thesis because they talk about the harm that alcohol can cause both mentally and physically. And these sources are trustworthy because they're through official sites, from health and medical magazines, and articles from scientists researching studies on alcohol. I have gathered most of my research, most of it's completed. However, there are still a few more areas I need to study before I gather more intel. My thesis has the majority of information needed, and I have it well supported. I would like to strengthen it by finding more hard evidence about the dangers of alcohol and their causes, and that nothing good comes from it. My only concerns about prohibiting alcohol is the uproar and riots that would form from not knowing, from being stubborn, from not knowing the truths of alcohol and not wanting to give it up. Conclusions I expect from writing this research paper are stronger knowledge for myself and others, and giving my readers something to reflect on and ponder as they raise their children, as they're in an alcoholic atmosphere, or decide whether to do something about the use of alcohol, or alcohol abuse for that matter.